A bi man is a gay man. You can call it homophobic if you want, but let me break it down. The word bi means encompassing two things together, okay? So for instance, when someone is biracial is not their actual race, okay? It's a collapsor word that means they have two different races in one. So specifically in American culture, most biracial people have one black parent and one white parent, okay? Now, if one of them tries to say that they're white, technically that's true because they have a white parent. If they try to say that they're black, technically that's true because they have a black parent. Bi race is not their race. Black and white is their race. They just happen to be both. That's why they're called biracial. So a bisexual person is not bi, they're gay and straight at the same damn time. That is literally what the bi part means. It means that two things are happening at once, okay? And so the issue here is that the community likes to remove that these two things are true. A bi man is literally a gay man by definition. That is what makes him bi. If he was not gay, he would just be straight. And if he was not straight, he would only be gay, okay?
Is this nigga
capable of complex and critical thought?
What's going on, y'all? My name is DOKUDEE, and today we're going to be talking about the recent bi discourse, or bi men discourse, I should say, on TikTok. If you don't know, because you have better things to do, there's been a whole conversation on TikTok about whether or not it's justified for women to have an aversion to dating bi men. It's really stupid and time wasting over some that is clearly just homophobic and rooted in homophobia. Some women going back and forth about it refuse to say the quiet part out loud, and when they do, this is the quiet part. And this is a pretty nasty thing to assume about people who are bisexual. And it definitely stems from homophobia, because that's the type of shit that homophobic people would say about two men getting together. As if that exact same nasty scenario isn't possible between a man and a woman. Nigga, just search some freak shit on Reddit. You'll find that shit in a jiffy. But yeah, that shit is weird and problematic. So we're gonna get into a few of the arguments that they use here and break them down. So the first argument, the one the lady used at the beginning, is very dumb, because being bi is not the combination of being gay and straight, as those things are literally antithetical to one another by their meaning. Now, the word gay is often used colloquially as though gay encompasses all of the LGBTQ, which we know to not be true. That's why there's the LGBTQ, bisexual, gay, trans. You understand what I'm saying? We use it the wrong way on a daily basis, which is fine when you're having regular conversations. I mean, we do that with all types of words all the time. But when it comes to discussions like these, where people are actively trying to erase the identity of bi people, part of their identity, by conflating it with being gay, that's when we have a problem. And that very same thing is why the lady at the beginning thought she had a leg to stand on and invalidate the existence of bi people and their sexual orientation. That, and she's just biphobic. But being gay means you are only attracted to the same sex or gender. And being straight is to be attracted to only the opposite gender. You can't still be gay if you're attracted to the opposite gender, and you can't still be straight the moment you're attracted to the same gender. The moment you don't just have one attraction to either the opposite or the same, and you do have an attraction to both sexes or genders, that is what makes you bi. Being gay and being straight are exclusionary orientations. When you bring them together, the meanings just defeat each other, unlike being bisexual, which is why the term bisexual exists. So that closes that case. Another argument I see a lot, which is the no means no, like complete full stop conversation ender. And yeah, I agree, up until it's problematic and rooted in homophobia or racism. For example, like this comment says, let a white man get on here and talk about the many reasons he wouldn't date a black woman. It'd be a whole month of think pieces and psychoanalysis, and they'd all be right to make think pieces, because there's no reasonable rationale to explain that shit. By nature of it, you would have to explain some kind of negative trait native only to black women, which would be fucking racist. The whole point of this conversation is asking you all who feel this way to unpack on why it is you feel this way. Because say, for example, you meet someone who checks off every single box for what you want in a person, and then you learn they're bisexual, and suddenly what was once a yes turns into a no. Well, why does it turn into a no? Because of their sexuality? Saying, well, because no means no is circular. Every action and preference, everything you do has a reason to why you do it. So now it's about your reasoning. And I think the quiet part a lot of you aren't saying is that you think sex with the same sex is icky, and it makes you feel bad because you have some repressed homophobia or biphobia lurking around in your noggin. Now, it's totally fine if you yourself do not want to engage with the same sex or do not want to engage with whatever the case may be for you, that is totally fine. But it's a difference when you say, hey, I don't want to do that, and then you go, what y'all two niggas do is disgusting. That's a fucking phobia. And if you want to say, well, would I be engaging in the same thing if I had sex with this person? Because they did it in the past. Now, if you're stupid enough to come up with that, that would mean that you believe anytime you engage with a person, you're also engaging with their past partners, which ironically enough would make you gay or make you bisexual by dealing with even the person you want, even the person you're saying you prefer, which is a straight person. That would make you gay by dealing with them, because you get what I'm trying to say. But back to the original argument, but back to it. And it seems to me that if the only no-go is their sexuality being bisexual, that would make you biphobic, or it comes from some level of homophobia because you have an aversion to their sexuality for no rational reason. Not that there is one, but just think about anything you can come up with, like their sexual partner's health, or implying that because they sleep with the same sex that they may have a disease. First off, disease is possible, equally possible on both ends. Hygiene is important, right? Man or woman, man on woman, woman on woman, man on man, etc., etc. Disease is possible with any one of these, but you niggas wouldn't blink an eye if it came to the preference you say you have. Like the comment earlier implying that that shit is impossible via someone who's straight, which is just not the fucking case. Or let's say you come up with another reason, like they might leave you for the same sex. Well, one, there's many things to unpack with this, but that is biphobic. And assuming that because they like more than one sex, that makes them more promiscuous than, say, a straight person. Like, this ain't a lunch table where more food means you might eat more than one thing. Ideally, in a monogamous relationship anyway, that person is supposed to only be attracted to you. So it's irrelevant that before you, they were attracted to both sexes. If niggas want to cheat, they gonna cheat. But let's say you do the reflection and you recognize that things you think about bisexual people come from a place of homophobia and a bunch of internalized bullshit, and you still choose to keep that preference. That is totally fine. You can do what you want, but you're gonna have to take that biphobic label. It's just that simple, because that would mean you're still holding on to aversions that don't have any rational backing. Just that simple. So to be clear, not wanting to date someone isn't the biphobia. The biphobia is when your reasoning is irrational, when it's things like, well, they might cheat on me, or they are more likely to have this disease, and just shit that's based off of character and hygiene, their own ethics when it comes to how they sleep around, how often they do it, and things like that. That is shit that has to do with them as a person, not because they're bisexual. So when you attribute that to bisexuality, that is when you are being biphobic. And if you continue to hold those aversions, that's what makes you a bigot. That's what makes you biphobic. All right, so to wrap this video up, now I'm showing some comments of the adverse side. And I just want to say, I feel like this controversy shows that there's a larger issue with people not wanting to accept that they have problematic beliefs. And since this is a controversy that revolves around, I guess women are the ones who sort of hold the problematic belief, it's a very touchy subject because you have to speak about their dating preferences, and straight men have historically like gnawed on women for their dating preferences and been incels, and there's all types of different shit like that. So I can understand why it's a touchy subject. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of you are basing your reason for not liking or not wanting to date bi people on stereotypes, on things that are not true, on things that are indicative of character and not sexual orientation. That's why it's problematic. So if you don't have the strength and the mind and the wherewithal to be able to unpack why you believe this shit and deconstruct, that's fine. But you got to be able to recognize that when you're arguing about something and you get to a point where you can no longer rationalize and you just go, well, because I said so, that you no longer, like, your legs are gone. So what the fuck are you standing on still? Why still stand on it? It's raw emotion coming from a lot of you because of, like I said, historically, we know of incels and people who feel entitled to other people's bodies and dating and all that shit. But this isn't that. This is simply calling you out for the problematic beliefs that you have. So when you get to a point where you can no longer rationalize your point, why are you still standing on it? If all you can say is because I don't want to. Like, what if racist people go, well, I just want to be racist because I want to be racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't they're done. They're defeated. At that point, the only thing they're standing on left is just hatred, bigotry, whatever the case may be. So when you're to that point, I'm asking you, why are you just content with staying there? Why? Like, please understand, I recognize that when we use the word feelings, it's often as a way to try to say what you believe in is irrational, but feelings can be both rational and irrational. This would be an irrational feeling because it's not based off anything. And I don't think irrational feelings are worth any level of consideration. You should be able to articulate and substantiate why it is you believe in something. So that's all we're asking you guys to do. And you can't do that. So if you can't do that, why stick with it for any reason that isn't hatred, bigotry, that you are the label that we're calling you. Take that look within or don't and be a bigot, whatever you want to do. But with that, that's got to be the end of this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all those wonderful, beautiful things. I would really appreciate that. Really helps the video get out. Especially leave a comment on this one because I want to know what people think and I want more people to talk about this. I ain't seen no YouTubers I watch talking about this, so I appreciate y'all for all y'all support. If you want to go the extra mile, I have a membership. Membership starts at $1. You can get things like bonus content, me focusing on art and my revisions of my art, things like that. So if you're interested in that, please join my membership, but you do not have to. So I appreciate y'all and the dialogue that y'all put in my comments and all that and whatnot. And oh, hype the video. I don't know if I said that, but I'm gonna see y'all niggas later. Peace.
Sometimes I wanna just chill and land, but I'm the protector of the emeralds and gems. Stay knuckled up in a deep cut. I'm seeing skulls that burn, they tryna throw me off. Avoiding my luck, I'm feeling kinda stuck. Don't call me Knuckles, give me a box.